Ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode on Ties and Takes, I'm going to be giving you my playoff predictions for the 2026-2027 season. Recently, I posted my record predictions for every team in the NFL, both the AFC and the NFC, going game by game, and this is what the seeding ended up looking like afterwards. So before we get into this in the first round, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. So the first game I want to talk about is the top left, Bears versus Buccaneers. I have the Bears winning this game. Yes, it's in Tampa Bay, but I think the Bears are going to be the best wildcard team. I have them winning 11 games, a team that I think could make a run in this year's playoffs. I like Tampa Bay, but coming out of the NFC South, that's the worst division in football, in my opinion. I like Chicago in that game. The 6 versus 3 matchup is a very good one. It would be an exciting one. I feel like two similar teams here, teams that are going to rely a lot on their defense this upcoming season. In Philly is the game, but I'm taking the road team once again. Give me Seattle to pull off the upset in this scenario. The Super Bowl champs from this past season. I think the Seahawks are an experienced group, a group that's going to come in, play a lot of defense, and defense wins in the playoffs. So I think they would be able to outlast the Eagles. Then the 7 versus 2 matchup, give me Detroit. I think the Lions win this one. It could be a good one. I think two teams that are often injured at this time in the year. We'll see which team's healthier. That may play a big factor in this game. But Detroit being at home after having a 12-win season, give me the Lions. Then when we look at the AFC, we have the 5 versus 4, which is Buffalo versus Houston. I'm taking the Texans in this situation. The Texans are at home. I think they're a team that can be dangerous. I think they can make a run. They had a good year in the playoffs last year. If CJ Stroud would have played a little bit better, this team could have went a lot farther, maybe even to the Super Bowl. If their offense can be better, I think it's going to be improved with David Montgomery getting Tank Dell back. I think the Texans win this game. It would suck for the Bills and be another letdown of a year, but we'll just have to wait and see how far they end up going. Then the 6 versus 3 in the AFC, I have another upset in this spot, and it's Cincinnati beating the Chiefs. Sorry. I think the Bengals kind of have the Chiefs number. This would be the second time playing them this season because they do play in the regular season. I think the Bengals get into the playoffs after having a good year. I think their defense is a little bit more improved. Now, do I think the Chiefs are going to have a great year? Yes. This is two teams that I really liked out of the AFC, two teams that I kind of envisioned going far. They just happen to be playing each other. And I think in this scenario, if the Bengals are healthy, they win this game. Then the 7 versus 2, it's the Chargers versus the Patriots. I think this could be another good one. I think the Chargers are a good team. The Patriots are a good team. But the Patriots added enough to that receiving room. I think their defense is still going to be elite. As long as Mike Vrabel in that situation pans out, I think the Patriots win this game and are looking to make a run. Now let's take a look into who I have winning the second round matchups. First, the Seahawks versus the Rams. I think the Rams are the best team in football going into the season. If they can stay healthy with the addition of Myles Garrett, we know how good that offense already is. I think the Rams win this game at home after coming off a bye. Then Chicago versus Detroit, an NFC North battle here in the divisional round. I think the Lions win this game. They're going to be at home. That'll help a ton. They've kind of had the Bears' number since Ben Johnson has gone to Chicago. The Lions are 2-0 against them. I think this would be a very good game, more than likely a higher scoring game. I think both offenses should be clicking at this point in the season. The defenses are both right around the average level, I would say, when it comes to rankings in the NFL. This would be a good game, one that could definitely go either way. Then when I look at the Ravens versus the Bengals, another divisional matchup here in the divisional round. This could be a very exciting game, a heated game. We know how heated the AFC North games do get. But I'm going to take the Ravens coming off the bye. I think the Ravens are going to have an exceptional regular season. I think they are going to be one of the best teams in the NFL as long as their coaching can pan out. We know they have a lot of new coordinators and a new head coach. How well are those coaches going to click with the players? But I think all the Ravens have simply needed, I think they have one of the best rosters in football and have had one of the best rosters in football. They just simply needed a coaching change, in my opinion, and I think that might get them over the hump this season. Then Houston versus New England. This is going to be a good matchup, a defensive matchup. I think I have Houston taking the upset here, going into Foxborough and getting the win. I think that CJ Stroud is ready. He's a little bit more experienced. I'm believing in CJ Stroud. I'm still a believer in him. I know how good that defense is. This would be a very good game, and two teams that could definitely go far this season. I like the Patriots and I like Houston, but in this matchup, give me the Houston Texans. Then when we look at the conference championship matchups, we have the Rams versus the Lions. And in this scenario, I'm taking the Rams. I think, like I've said in this video, I think the Rams are a dangerous, dangerous team. If they're clicking on both offense and defense, I think they easily win this game just because I think the Lions are a little bit more one-sided. They're going to rely heavy on their offense. But if the Rams can get after their quarterback, get after Jared Goff with Myles Garrett, maybe even Aaron Donald if he comes back, I think the Rams would win this game because their offense will more than likely be clicking against this Detroit defense. But you never know, the Lions could pull off an upset here and get to their first Super Bowl. And then when we look at the AFC, we have the Ravens versus the Texans. This would be an interesting game. I feel like the Ravens are very offensive focused, where the Texans are a little bit more defensive focused. But I think the Ravens have enough defense to hold off that Houston offense, keep them maybe below like 24 points, and the Ravens be able to score about 27, something like that, maybe get into the 30s if they are clicking. I know that Houston defense is legit, but I think Lamar, it could be his year. I think he advances to his first Super Bowl. And when we take a look at the Super Bowl, I have the Rams winning. Yes, I know a lot of people are likely going to have this pick at this point in the offseason, but it's just clear, far and above the best roster in the NFL, in my opinion. We know that offense. Stafford just won the MVP. They have Puka. They have Devontae Adams. They have Kyron Williams. They have weapons all over the offense, a good offensive line. And then when you look at the defense, they added cornerback. They added Myles Garrett. They added a lot to that defense as well to upgrade it. I think it's just far and above the best roster in the NFL. They also have Sean McVay, who's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Now, anything can happen. I'm not guaranteeing a Rams Super Bowl at all, but this is going to be my prediction heading into the season. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this upcoming year? And what's one team that you think could maybe make a run that's not really expecting get to the conference championship? For me, it's the Houston Texans. Let me know in the comments down below. But until next time, it's been Tyson. Peace.